Hello, everybody. Welcome to ICC's Banter Blitz. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. Today we're getting started a little earlier. We're going to make sure we get out of the way before World Championship match. And it seems like we've jumped the gun a little bit, so let me start playing. I've already got a game in front of me. So against Zianula, I have no idea. It starts with a it starts with an X. I don't know how to pronounce a name starting with an X. It could be anything. But anyway, uh, I'm I'm fooling around a little bit. I'm just trying to do some funny things in the opening just to make it interesting. Not trying to overwhelm people with opening theory, right? That would not be very sporting. So I'm playing some kind of weird collie system type thing. Actually, it's not totally horrible. I just invented it on the spot. I've got a nice knight outposted on e5. Yeah, I'll go with f4. My dark square bishop isn't that bad. I don't know if he should be taking that knight so quickly because now I've got this open f file. One thing I've noticed, I talk about the differences in the way stronger players, weaker players play, that stronger players have a little more tolerance for outposted pieces. They can think of a plan to work around them. But the average player, when they see a piece outposted like a knight e5, they're very anxious to either kick it out or trade it. a5, okay, so he wants to trade my bishop. I think I'm going to keep that on the board. So I'm getting my rook out of the way. a5, okay, it's good. He's looking for counterplay. Okay, I think I'm just going to start loading up on the king. Oh, of course, I can't double rooks. Can't double rooks on the F file, can I? All right, well, I'll work around that. How'd my knight get to h3? Oh, yeah, e2, c3, e2, f4, h3. But h3, it's kind of a good square to attack the king side. I should have some good play. But now I almost think like, did I need to avoid that trade of bishops because I want to double my rook so badly? Oh, no, that's got to be a sacrifice. Yeah, sometimes. Well, it's black was under pressure on the king side for sure, but now I think that I'm going to take on g6. This looks like mate is coming, and he hasn't played b4 yet. He delayed in playing b4, and so my rook can come to f1. So I think this is actually he just resigned. Yeah, because it's forced mate between rook f1 and queen h7. It's. I mean, if black can avoid mate, I don't think black can even avoid mate for more than a couple of moves. So very sudden end to the game with knight takes f7, but interesting game. Okay, chess 64. I'm starting out with some tougher players. Sometimes I get some lower rated players to deal with, and chess 64. So he is playing very conservative bishop f4 type thing. Yawn. Um, this kind of stuff is all the rage. We got people like Joe Bava, who is a very creative player when he plays his bishop to f4. But I don't know if that's really true for the average player who does it. And in general, I don't think this is so exciting. Okay, now I played queen e7. I don't know. Sometimes people like things like this opening because they can sort of play mindlessly and just put their pieces on squares without paying any attention. But now there's a little e5, e4 thing happening. Okay, I think white doesn't have to lose a piece, but he has to be careful because if he just retreats the bishop along the diagonal, like bishop h2, it looks like e4 wins a piece. So now he actually has to think a little bit. And I think he's got to put the bishop on g5. Yeah, I could take on e5 first. Okay. So what is this? E4? Is he going to play knight c4 or something like that? I don't think that's going to make that big a difference. That's very interesting. He stopped to think about that move, but he didn't want to play bishop g5. He didn't want to alter his plan. All right, now what can I do? I could win. I could get three pieces for a queen, but I don't. But do I need to do that? Why don't I? What if I just played queen e6, knight g5, and then I just move my queen? So, all right. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to play with three minor pieces against the queen. I could take the bishop or the knight, and then take the knight coming to d6, because you don't see three minor pieces for the queen all that often out of the opening. There's that one line in the modern with the bishop c4, queen e2. If anybody knows that one, that was very popular when I was a teenager, um, where white would get three pieces for a queen, but you don't really see it all that often. So knight g5, I can move my queen to d5 or f5, I think, and then I'm attacking lots of pieces. So that's what I'm going to. Where am I going to go? Queen d5, I think. Still attacking the bishop. Now attacking the knight. I think queen f5 also would have been good enough. I even said how to avoid losing a piece. Or was I wrong about that? Bishop g5 was e4 happening anyway, because my knight was pinned, but I'm attacking with the bishop and the queen. Oh, so I just assumed that white could play bishop g5, but bishop g5, e4, and if he took the pawn, I take with the bishop and then the queen. And yeah, so actually e5 did win the piece. So, well, of course it's Blitz, so you never want to be too critical about things in Blitz. But that really shows how in the opening you have to be careful about making automatic moves. Now, it's not so fast because it looks like white is making a little bit of a comeback, because now he's getting some momentum chasing me around. But I think that I can back out of this. And like I said, he's gaining some momentum, but I don't think it's going to really be worth a piece. I think it's just going to be a couple of moves, and then I can consolidate and get castled. I mean, white has a very nice looking position, but also lost a piece. So knight in the middle. Still, the center is relatively closed. I can even contemplate castle and queenside. Rook e1 would be a good idea, because then bishop e7, knight d6, he can open the file. Yeah, if he otherwise I get bishop e7 and castles. So now I can certainly contemplate castle and queenside, and I think that I should. I'm not totally comfortable with my king over there, but I don't think it's worth a piece for white. But if you're dropping a piece, this is perhaps a relatively benign way of doing it. Relatively, it's still a game. Okay, knight d6. So I take that. I don't necessarily have to take it, but let's ha. Bishop b5. He set up a nice little cheapo there. I almost fell for that too. Let's just go c4. Yeah, because that takes care of it with the tempo. And then my queen gets a little extra room. And wherever the bishop goes, I can harass it a little bit. Maybe g6, or maybe just knight f6. Yeah, just knight f6. Oh, not knight f6. That was not a good move. That was not a good move. Yeah, well, because he could have played bishop f5, I would have had to go back. I do have to be a little careful about the diagonal. Pawn takes. So he's trying to get these pawns rolling, but I've got that long diagonal. I think that long diagonal is going to keep him pretty tied up. So yeah, so this one's looking good for me. If he could somehow magically get his queen on that h2 g3 diagonal, he could create something, but I don't see that happening. Okay, I think this pawn is safe to eat. queen d2, d4. Um, okay, some more firepower here. Like I said, I have to watch out a little bit about uh, check, 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 check. Okay, this looks pretty good. Check, and then I take his rook. I see his queen g4, but I can go back. I'm threatening mate on g2. All right, I'm going to get a little fancy here. To liquidating combination. Take that with check. Take that. Check and matter of time. Okay, thanks, Chess 64. Well, I mean, that was an interesting moment in the opening. I played kind of non-standard move, Queen E7, and what's going on? Wait, Chess 64 is playing. Oh no, he's just playing over the game, which I. But I'm about to have another game, so we're not going to see that for too long. Um, yeah, Queen E7. I played a little non-standard move, Queen E7. I wanted to fiend cat on my bishop, and then he played a little careless. He didn't get his bishop out of the way. Now, all those games were people. Oh, I was meant to play e6. All right, so I played e6. I forgot for a second. All right, check. First to check. Is that a variant of chess? First to check. The first player to get a check in wins. That'd be cool. All right, so Bogo Indian. Usually black is kind of happy if you can get the knight to go to d2. That's one of the ideas of the queen e7 move, is that in a lot of positions that forces um, the knight to recapture on d2. But this type of position is frequently reached in this opening, but usually black has to play knight c6 and then knight back to b8. So it's kind of a typical position when black is up too tempy. Yeah, I mean, usually white has a lot of more moves. By the time you get when the knight goes back to b8, white is usually developed the bishop and castled. The pawn's not on a5, and white gets another move. So um, I'm quite a bit ahead of the game here, and maybe have idea to get in the move a4, which it looks like I just got a4 in because I'm attacking the bishop. And next move a4, and I can defend that pawn quite easily. There's no knight on c3 to attack it. And also there's pressure on e4. So from here I could play c6, or I could play for f5 to get play that way. Um, Usually I attack the king side, but I think for a change of pace I'm just going to play on the queen side. It's not so easy for white to find a good plan here. This is one play bishop d7 and then take on d5. Usually f4 is not a great plan for white. Wow, rook a1. He wants to play knight b1. Well, you want to try to put your moves together if you can. I should be able to exploit that knight. Well, it's not. Actually, the knight coming to c3 will glue things together a bit. I had this plan to play bishop b5, but now I'm actually going to adjust my plan, because after knight b1, it doesn't look like it does anything. So I was gonna say I'm gonna play for. I'm gonna play for b4, but that changed. Okay. Um, I'm not sure knight does anything on a4, but I'm gonna go there. Now swing my rook to the queen side. Of course, Vove or Vove, he is hanging in pretty nicely and is position is not very optical. It's got that bad bishop, but um, I don't think that it's overwhelming for me in any way. I mean, maybe it's even kind of equalish, but just type of position, I always feel very comfortable. I just feel like I have a nice positional game. But does have some play on this pawn, this b5 pawn, and my knight in f6. I'd like to maneuver it. I'm actually gonna maybe, I think I'm gonna go for a little sneak attack with that knight on the king side to maybe try to distract him a little bit. I think, and if he comes with queen to the queen side like queen b4, then that could lead to something. He went rook c1, so he stopped me from ideas like rook c3, and then maybe potential even exchange sacrifice. So this is where the grandmaster would normally play bishop f1 without thinking too much. That's like the typical type of retreat, because so we just on principle don't like that bishop to be taken. Okay, so like I said, I'm continuing with the sneak attack mode. So I'm probably threatening to take the pawn on h3, queen e3. So he offers some extra defense there. Knight takes bishop. Well, I don't have anything with the queen f4 check. His knight on b3 is giving defense um, to the rook. So let's see if this does anything. It's another sneak attack. See, the knight coming to f4 in itself didn't break the back, but just to reacting to that, and then I can maybe try something on the other side, and the white has to react and make some accurate moves, and maybe it leads to something. Maybe not. I mean, still the queen on e3 is a really pretty solidly placed, but now he doesn't have the bishop to defend, so maybe just queen g6, see how he meets that. Possibly I should have kept that in reserve. I'm not sure. Knight h4 because queen h5. It's a little awkward. Ah, okay. Well, again, something got distracted over there, so now I'm going to push this guy. So I've got play going on both sides of the board, and it kind of feels like I'm building to something. And I don't know, queen h6 I'm going to play. I mean, that looks like a threat to h3, which is when you have 26 seconds left, it's probably not so easy to figure out a way to defend it. Bishop h3, big threat, and that does not stop it. Yeah, so I think that's going to. So the combination of the play, king side, queen side, eventually that king side attack. Yeah, I guess, true to my style, I do like to attack on the king side. Whoa, okay. It's very sporting. Thank you, Vove, whatever. He actually told me before we started that I was his favorite grandmaster, so I appreciate that. It's nice to have fans. You like me. You really like me. It's good. Appreciate it. All right, so far so good. Of course, we're getting started a little earlier than usual, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Most of my banters have been at 11. I used to do later in the day as well, as Ears from Canada is up. Played him before, and I guess different times of the day you get slightly different clientele because we are, of course, very international. And, it's everybody in different time zones. So people are able to play at different times. Some people play in the morning, some people play in the evening. Some people are working, some people goofing off. Some people are goofing off while they're at work. However you're doing it, welcome. So A6. So Yeah, every now and then you have people who want to play weirder than me, you know? I try to play a little bit weird and they say, "No, I'm going to be weirder than you." That's cool too. So here in New Jersey, it's getting cold. It's 30s and 40s the last couple of days. So we're finally getting the feel of winter, which had to happen eventually. And of course, for most of you, the big attention is on the World Championship match. I had a chance to do one of the games with Alex Yermolinsky, and we got quite a good game, actually. It was, what was it, game five, I think, which was a fairly long one, ended in a draw. Both players had a chance to win. A few of the games have been pretty dull. But the last game was really a sensational win for Karyakin. I think we just see sometimes the confidence of Magnus Carlsen can backfire because I think he just didn't anticipate, he was in a position, I think he didn't anticipate he could actually have problems, that it was possible for him to lose, and took him by surprise. And Karyakin just outplayed him. And and then I think Carlsen blundered at the end. I'm not sure that if he was going to lose necessarily if he didn't play H4, but definitely he was under pressure. And so, I guess people want to know, can Carlsen come back? Well, I don't know. I don't know any more than, than you guys know. I don't have a crystal ball. He doesn't have a lot of games to do it, but certainly it can be done. I mean, keep in mind, you want to think about chess history. Vladimir Kramnik was able to do it against Leko in just one game. He got it down to, he had to win the last game with white, and he played E4, and he managed to beat Leko, who you might be aware is a tough guy to beat. He's drawn a lot of games in his career, and so Kramnik managed to do it. So certainly Carlsen is capable. All he needs to do is one game go his way. Meanwhile, we've got a lot of protracted maneuvering here, and I've been, well, basically playing a lot of quick moves because it's kind of difficult to figure this out. So, but now maybe I'll try to pump my bishop into d6, so it won't really be a bad bishop once it gets in there. In fact, I think considering black is operating on in limited space, I think that's going to be a problem for him. And I'm definitely considering following up with c5, because then that kills the bishop on b7. Yeah, that pretty much kills a lot of pieces. And then I think it's off to a kingside attack. b5. I don't have to do anything on that side of the board, really. Knight. Yeah, I'll just maneuver this knight around. Knight c8. Yeah, but if he takes it, that's not going to be ideal. All right. I don't know. I'm not really sure where that knight should go. I'm just going to stick it there for the moment. Yeah, it's a real question how I should recapture, too. Actually, either way, he can play e5, a c5 or e5, but I don't know if this is going to be so good for him. Well, actually, he gets a pretty good bishop, but that should be a strong pass pawn on d6. That should be pretty strong, so I don't think he's going to be too happy. But probably it's better to play e5 than to not play e5. Now my knight on g3, I don't really like it very much, but it's just there. So probably I'm going to, try to do something in the e file. So if he played bishop takes, maybe I would play rook e2, and now probably just take and rook e1. Okay, that's done. Now look, well, dark squares are not so easy to work with because he has a dark squared bishop, but queen f4. see where he's going. If I could land something like knight f5, but I can land bishop f5. Not sure what that would do, though. Maybe just generic h4 move. Actually, ears is very, very low on time here, I should point out. Maybe I could have played knight f5. Um, just defend queen e1. I'm not sure I needed to defend queen e1, but a lot of times these type of positions they kind of win themselves. When your opponent is low on time. Um, Not saying that's really happened here. uh, Queen. Yeah, I don't really want to trade queens all that much, but all right. Yeah, I don't think I've done all that much with this position, I have to say. F4. F5 rather. Uh-oh. I forgot about that pawn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. What do I do now? I didn't get my king to defend that pawn. Okay. Plan B. Oh, I thought he was going to go after the... I thought he was going to go after that pawn. He did not. He did not. Oh, I forgot about the e5 pawn. I've just been forgetting about all my pawns here. Wow. Okay. Just go for confusion. Wow. All right, this is a game I guess I'm going to have to try to win on time. I might win it on time. I might lose, of course, but might as well try to win. Probably am actually losing. Well, King E2 was a pointless move, but still, it's pointless for him to win my bishop. He should just queen that pawn right away. Let's see what's going on. Uh, we're both queening. All right. So pretty exciting game, huh? If I can win that pawn, if I can win that pawn, I can win this game. Yeah, he's trying to figure out how not to lose the pawn. Okay, check. All right, let's go. Let's see, his queen c5 is just a draw, yeah? Okay, all right. It's turned out to be a very exciting game. I think I was lost. I think, oops. Whoa, I don't want to move that pawn. Check. Hmm. 'Cause, 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 I didn't queen because that would have been a draw. Yeah, one. Yeah, see, if I queened, he takes h2. He had his king on g2. That's a draw. So I that's why I played queen g4, and after king h2, I'm not sure. Wow. I mean, he was so low on time that I just decided to make a crazy winning attempt. But yeah, I just didn't make the most of that position because I never really dealt with that dark squared bishop with my pawns being vulnerable to the dark squared bishop. So very well played by ears after, not such a great opening. Well, I mean, he was fooling around the opening. That's fine. But it's interesting at the end, he wasted all those moves to win my bishop. If he just pushed his d pawn directly, he would have queened well before me and won the game. Okay, so now we have Dan 910712 Tango Bravo. I don't know what all those numbers are about. That's not pi, as far as I know. All right, so let's go for some kind of Dutchy kind of thing. Dutchy kind of thing. E4. Just like that. All right. Got knight f6 tempo coming. Should be good. So I don't know, when I try to do these funky things in the opening, they do lead to weird things, unusual things happening, which is kind of fun. All right, so White's got to catch up in development a bit here. If he can do that, it'll be all right. But it's an if. Yeah, that's a useful start, making it harder for me to play e5, which maybe I should even try to play e5 last move. So what can I do? Let's go for the extendo fianchetto. I've got to say fianchetto or Sandra will get on me. All right, so I've got a pin. He can move his queen out of the way. Then, I'm hoping that every little tempo like that where he doesn't develop will help me in some way. Or maybe I'll play d5 anyway, because if he takes it, then it's no castling today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. Okay, so I take on f1, and then, well, you could take with a rook and then try to castle the other way. But that's, well, he can do it. It's not ideal to castle queenside in this position, but, well, given that he took with the rook, I would say he's going to castle queenside because the e-file is open. So there's not much choice about that. All right, so let's pump. I was thinking I'm going to pump that knight into a5, but maybe it's better to pump the other way. Put the knight on e4. And maybe I'll do that. Knight to e4. Okay, if he takes the queen, I take a move to defend my knight, but then knight e4 comes with vis tempo. He can play knight e5, transforming the pawn structure a little bit. I don't know who that's going to favor. Knight still coming to e4. Okay. D4 doesn't look good. So now I've got a nice phalanx of pawns there on the queen side, but he has pawns on the king side too, so I don't know. F3 coming, so C5 maybe not the thing to do yet. All right, maybe I'll just put this in the middle. Yeah, anticipate, because maybe the knight will come back to E6, where it can blockade. I didn't really anticipate bishop b4, but I guess I can roll with that. Then maybe I play d4. But now that my knight isn't hanging in the middle, I can advance through the middle like this. Maybe queen d5 coming. My pawns, I think, are rolling a little bit faster. I'm not too worried about a7. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure that bothers me either because I can play c4, c5. I can roll those pawns forward. They're rolling a little faster than his pawns, although now he's maybe threatening e6. Um, I don't know. I mean, that made it possible to play f4, but at least e6, I think, is not going to happen. So, he wants a queen trade. What am I, a merchant? Take, take. What does that mean? I think it's probably more unpleasant to keep the queens on, although it's things I have to calculate. But probably I can play for a mating attack here with c3 coming. That's going to be something he has to deal with. I don't know if it's actually mating him. If he takes, I think I actually just recapture back because that keeps options open. Yeah. So he does that. Yeah, that's a good move actually. Because if I take, I'm not really mating him, am I? Yeah. So what's the follow up? I don't know. Maybe I come with the back C pawn. So that forward. A3. I don't know if I would touch that one, but feel like something should come up here. Maybe C4 coming next. Queen C2, maybe C4 anyway. So this is like an exercise in you know um, pawn storms. He has a big majority in the king side, but I've got this. Hard to believe he can hold out against those two pawns. They're just too far up. Threatening mates. I mean, yeah. Well, basically, the threat is the rook coming. All right, I'll just put my king in front of this pawn. Yeah, but now rook a2 should seal the deal. This is sort of a standard tactic that you see, with in the rook and bishop pawn against rook. They swing the rook over and you queen the c pawn. All right, nice game, Dan. 9107112. I thought that was actually quite interesting, the strategy there, and eventually, I had those pawns rolling through the middle, and I got some attack on the king, and White never really got to use his pawn majority. So that was a fun game. All right, let's see what's coming up next. Don't want to forget to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating in America. If you're not in America, that's too bad. You don't realize how much fun Thanksgiving is. It's really my favorite holiday. I love to eat the turkey and all that stuff, get together with the family, get some time off, dump the kids at my sister's, so they have a little holiday away, and my wife and I have a little holiday without them. Okay, so we've got Sander VDK. You're up. Are you not ready to answer the bell? I'm knocking. Is anybody home? uh, what a shame. Maybe losing your place in the queue, and you never know if you're going to get back. You can't play a Grandmaster every day on ICC. Every month, yes. Well, I guess there are the Banter Banter Blitzers, but I only play once a month. In fact, I really almost never play on ICC. I'm not really sure why. I guess I should just play, but for whatever reason, I don't. I sometimes play on my phone using the ICC app, playing against the computer, which is kind of interesting. Practice a few lines. All right, so we're somehow in a exchange French in a roundabout way. So I'm going to go into a form of what I call the kind of the Mises attack, because Norman's Mises plays this way many times, and he doesn't even get it from the French. He plays c4 in move one, and so many of his opponents play e6, I guess, because they know it's coming. He plays e4 in move two, and then e takes d5. It's a kind of Panov attack against the French, which is, it's a one way of looking at it. Of course, Panov attack is a different pawn structure, but it's interesting. All right, so he's tried to annoy me with this pin, which admittedly is somewhat annoying. So I don't know. I'll go for counter annoyance. Maybe threatening to take the pawn on d5. Yeah, okay, so I got him to give a tempo. I like that part. Rook on e1, pressuring the bishop. I like that. Sometimes the white can just go g4 and move forward, dunk the knight into e5, but I'm not in a hurry to do that. Survey my options first. Should I take on d5? Hard to say. Let me just go g4. Get rid of that pin. Now, black could be tempted to take with the f pawn to open the file, but then I might play queen e2 and try to get the rook off. So J. Russell 2 just goes for the sort of sober positional move. Takes. I don't think I've really gotten that much out of this opening, but plow along. I think knight takes maybe was stronger. Knight takes, I think, kind of felt like maybe full equalization for black. Now maybe I have a hair. Maybe I'm a hair better. But a good game. J. Russell 2 definitely put up a good fight from the beginning here. I wonder if this is J. Russell 1. So black can put a couple rooks on open files as one. Is to be just a little concerned about f7, but the d5 pawn is blocking my bishop right now. Rook. Yeah, rook e3 is maybe a little more exposed than e2, but I'm thinking that maybe there's some situations where it might go to f3. Perhaps that isn't really in the position. But once I get those rooks double, now I'm starting to think tactics with that knight f7, knight g6, I don't know, something. Bishop f6, knight moves somewhere, maybe. Okay, that opens up a pin. Well, not that easy to see how I can exploit that, though. Rook f3 doesn't really feel right. I don't know, random. I'm not sure that threatens anything, knight b5. He has moved that bishop around a bit, but at this point in the game, it's probably okay. Yeah, I don't know. Did I get anywhere with that move? Knight f7. Knight f7. It's tempting. It's probably nothing there, though. The rook takes e3. Nah, I just go back. I didn't really do anything with that move. Maybe I reposition my queen on the king side. Because the problem, I gave him an extra tempo, but it's not clear what he's going to do with that extra tempo. And maybe we'll try queen d6 and try to be aggressive. Both sides getting, kind of a little low on time. Well, he's trying to make something happen, but I wonder if he's going to lose something, lose a pawn here. Or worse. Actually, I think he just... What happens on rook e8 now? Yeah, rook e8 just wins material. So, sometimes you can win a game by doing nothing, giving your opponent a chance to hang himself. Uh, Jay Russell too could have maybe just kept being solid because didn't accomplish anything. But I think I just won some material because queen takes, I take the queen with check, and knight takes, I take the queen, and then the knight hangs. So yeah, so I just won material with that. All right, so now it's going to be a queen. I'm not going to complain about that. Okay. All right, thanks. All right, thank you for the game, Jay Russell, too. And onward. I'm still under the weather. I was a little bit sick for my broadcast, and I'm still a little bit sick. It just really been like 2 weeks of some kind of bronchitis. Just hanging around, very nasty. Not happy about it, but making do. Okay, here we have Wilson Palencia. Oh, okay, this is a serious player, by the way. Very serious play. I am playing. Okay, queen f3. All right. That is an idea that's sort of popular these days, is shifting the queen. Also, I read an article in New in Chess magazine about the move early queen d3 with the idea of shifting the queen to g3. This is white can do it in kind of another form here. Okay. All right, so I'll trade. I'll be a merchant. Now, now what next? F3 and bishop c5 is possible, but does it accomplish much? Do I want to trade? Well, maybe. We'll see. See if that's a good idea or not. Not threatening anything, I don't think. Yeah, it's true. This is, well, I have to play d6, I guess. I was not necessarily going to play d6, but I think my knight needs to land. g5, knight d7, g6, not yet a problem. Okay, so now that knight can move, so I might want to take care of that situation in the middle. Okay, so all right, let's take that. And step up in the pocket. g5 I'll take on d4. And move my knight to d7. Looks equal. I mean, it's sort of a normal position, except that h pawn has come to the g file, which could be nice for white, but the h file, I don't think it should be that big a deal, and I don't think the pressure on d6 pawn is all that magical. But of course, here I have to defend it. Threatening rook d1, so I could have played rook d8. Tiny bit concerned about the move a4. Yeah, rook d8. I think a4. That kind of softening can be especially nice in endgame. I'm going to use the a rook because I think I'm going to play h6. That's the thing. He has a nice rook on the h file, but okay, I'm defended there, and he could keep the rook there, but it doesn't do much. So now he puts the rook. Yeah, he went to the middle, but now he didn't do much, so he decides to go back. I was going to play h6, but I'm going to play h6 anyway because I feel like maybe I can try to do something on dark squares. Because he's got a light square bishop. Well, I have a light square bishop too, but yeah. So he's trying to not get his pawns all stuck on light squares. Um, Oops. I'm trying to move my knight, but I was clicking on the pawn. That was a good thing I didn't accidentally. I don't know if I've ever, made what you would call a mouse slip in Banter Blitz, but that was very close to one. Um, yeah, I guess I would just, take my punishment if I did. All right, so now, oh, I'd love to put the knight on d4, but how do I make that happen? All right, well, I'm not sure about this move b4, but I'm trying to, but I can't let his knight come into d5. All right, so I'm going for dark squares, putting things on. Maybe my bishop will reroute f5. Okay, so h6 pawn is a little tender. Um, where do I want these guys? Like that, maybe? Mm, that might just be a temporary nuisance. c3. Okay, I'm going to try to keep that pawn up there. He can try to attack it. Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. But g4, he wants g5. That is annoying. That is actually quite annoying. Um, Maybe king run. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, he's sort of hitting me here and there. He stopped my knight from going to d7. Yeah, he's doing a good job here. What do I do, knight? Maybe come this way. Yeah, I'd say white has some pressure, but also he's got that bad bishop. I have some things to look forward to. Knight coming to c5 will be strong. So he makes some defensive moves. Maybe I should have played d5. I'd get pinned. Yeah, but now what do I do? What do I do? I think maybe start looking for stuff on the queen side. Try to attack one of those pawns. Um, well, not a lot of time left in this game, yeah? Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to worry about that pawn too much. Yeah. It's annoying. Very annoying. Can't really think of what to do here. I want to reorganize my pieces, get my rook out of there. But it's tricky. I didn't really want my king where it is now. That's really where I want it. Uh-oh. Well, my bishop is protected, right? That's certainly awkward, but maybe I can g5. I don't know if, yeah, my bishop is protected. But don't really like g5 very much, but okay, it's coming down to time. Yeah, I don't like that move at all. I'm going to run away. Uh, yeah, I'm in trouble here. I'm in trouble. Definitely in trouble. But it's a time game. Check. All right, I got rid of that pawn. That's a help. Now what's going on? Fortunately, I can't liquidate into the pawn ending. Looks like I'm in big trouble here. It's got me. All right. Yeah, I never managed to reorganize that king side. I wanted my king on e7. I should just put my king on g7, rook on d8, and but I started making some random moves. So nice game by, what was it, Wilson Palencia? So no clean sweep for me today. It happens. Now who do we got? Vestfin. Okay, Vestfin, I'm going to throw some weirdness at you. See how you respond. My knight on e2 is looking at my knight on d2, but the knight on d2 is not looking back. That looks like I'm playing some kind of weird French reversed, right? Okay, wait, I have a knight on d2. I'm not castled. Can I take this pawn? This is not one of those positions where there's a bishop check that wins your queen. That's one of the most important tactics that's common to openings. Ah, well, hmm. Should I get greedy and try to win two pawns? I think I should. I think I'm better off taking the pawn on e4. He's going to let me do that one. To get that out of the way, and I can just develop. Shouldn't really be a lot of compensation. But I still got to develop my pieces. Strengthen my center. Get castled. And count my money. Castle early and often. Just put my bishop on b2. Then d5 can be in the air for later. Bishop c8. Why did he go back to c8? Why not go to e6? I think he maybe didn't see he could pin the pawn. Hmm. Oh, I have an extra pawn in the center. Maybe I should just start pushing. Here we go. When you occupying the center and you have better pieces, sometimes you win one pawn, it feels like more than one pawn, because it would be a passive position for black. Let's say if you had an e pawn on the board, but now without that pawn, it feels like everything is really rolling forward here. It feels like more than a pawn. But Vestfin putting up good resistance, can develop his bishop. He solidified his knight. And so what? All right, just bring that rook into, that's not really such a great move because we have bishop g5. All right, I didn't want to do this last move, but I don't really accomplish much on the c file, I have to say. But now I'm really looking at that g7 pawn. It's just a matter of time before something happens. But I'm going to pretend like I'm looking at the h pawn. I maybe I should put the rook on f4, pressure f7, because the bishop can come to f5. Ooh. Uh, well, there's a lot of problems with that move. I mean, I'm not sure what to do about e6, but if I take this, I think that's going to lead to catastrophic material failure because he's got an awful lot of things hanging, including that one. Kaboom. All right, thank you, Vesfin. Sometimes you have to be very patient when defending a position. f6 was kind of lashing out, and I had pressure, but I didn't have maybe at e6 maybe was a threat, but only because the rook was undefended. He could have moved his bishop. Yxy. Okay, you're up. So we'll go Paulsen. For whatever reason, I've almost never played the Paulsen in tournaments. Always timing off, but there's always reason to try. All right, let's see if this move. That's the kind of move that a lot of club players are worried about in e6. I've seen players not wanting to bring the knight out or playing a3, but most of the time bishop b4 doesn't really do that much. There's always at least some kind of risk in trying to win a pawn like that. I'm not really that big a fan of it. Um, and I'm not sure that I should even try it now, but I'm going to do it. When I was young, I was I was not afraid to take pawns like this. But I mean, it is very, very, very dangerous. Okay, what now? Yeah, maybe it was just crazy. This maybe isn't helping. But I have an idea. It's probably No, it's not really such a great idea, is it? I was thinking maybe I'm going to castle queenside, but no, that can't really work. He's got too many pieces on the queen side. But what is he thinking about here? Is something I missed? Because it seems like white should just take. What else? I guess I could consider pawn takes because the knight on b3 is actually pinned. Yeah, maybe he didn't like that. Huh. Well, not like I really solved a lot of problems. Hmm. All right. Still holding on to this queenside castling idea. He's getting very fancy here. I don't think I'll do it. Ah, so if I take, he goes bishop d4. That's the big idea. Okay. Okay. Not bad. Maybe I should have taken on e4 first. All right. Ah, I guess my queen, well, my queen is in a little bit of danger, but I don't think it's trapped. I don't think it's trapped. I've got the pawn on e5. I could take it in some situations. I don't think a queen is trapped, but I have to admit it is getting a little hot in there. Now, dilemma for me because I want to put my bishop on c6, but my knight is sitting there, and at the same time, I don't really want to move my knight. But I might have just have to play bishop e8. I hate that move though. Hate, hate, hate. But I think I got to do it. And my queen is definitely under fire, but things I can do. Just yeah, just notice to move bishop d6, but and he didn't go for it. All right, now I'm hoping to play rook takes e5, maybe even on rook e3. That might be my big salvation, getting that move in. He wasn't listening. Or maybe he disagrees. Let's see. All right, there we go. I could be missing something, but not a lot of time to think about it. Queen a6. Is that a move? No, no. I could take his rook on a1. Yeah, that's definitely not a move. So I take the pawn. I also get to simplify it because I'm going to trade something, rook or queen. And I think that I'm sort of crawling out of this, but still, um, I got bishop on e8, rook on h8, not really playing yet. So it's, but probably the worst is over. Probably bishop d4, interesting. But I can take the rook there. Okay. Now maybe I want to try to sneak out with my bishop if I can, because I don't want to put it back on d7. All right, he wants to trade queens, he can trade queens. He's very low on time here. Okay, I think I have time to go there. So rook can't come to the d file. Yeah, okay, I think I'm not going to take that pawn. Maybe I can, but I'm not going to. He wants knight c5, does he? Yeah, I bet he does. I'm not sure where I should put this bishop. I put it there. Can take that pawn. I should just take everything. Be super greedy. Yeah, maybe, well, I do like the idea of taking the d5 square. Okay, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. I mean, he does have a lot of things buzzing around like king, but he missed this one. All right, thanks to the game YXY. I think I was a little bit crazy that game, but he should have just taken on D5, opened up the center. I wasn't sure what to do about my king. You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean that game shows that people, a lot of average players are afraid of Bishop B4 and those Sicilians, but it's a risk. Okay, Liebens pawn. What's going on? What happened? Game started and then he was gone. Changed his mind. I never played Liebens pawn before. I was looking forward to it. Oh, he disconnected. He disconnected. Well, that happens. It's even happened to me. Nothing to be ashamed of, but he might lose out on his opportunity. So, who's next? Do 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 do. How about those Knicks? They look pretty good this year. Got point guard play. All right, what's going on? A new game. Jimovic. Da. I don't know. I just kind of thought of of this opening on the spur of the moment. It is really fooling around, isn't it? Uh, it's almost like playing a reversed French, D takes E4 kind of French. Or he's thinking, what am I going to do with that G file? Should I give him the G file? Is he going to mate me? I'll make him think like I'm going to mate him on the G file. Actually, is sort of interesting what I'm doing. Trying to be an accidental Jobava. He's just not biting. He's not biting. I'd end up just doing boring kingside castles. He's playing quite sensibly, it has to be said. Yes, 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 very sensible. All right, boring kingside castling. Maybe he'll play knight d4 if he doesn't trade. Ah, okay, so now some things happen. Okay, I can bring my knight to f5. His queen is out of range of my knight in e5, so I don't want to have any tricks there. Maybe I'll just play knight d4 anyway. Wheel into f5. Well, he can stop me from going to f5, but then he has to weaken the diagonal a little bit with g6. Probably not that big a deal, but it at least involves a commitment. It's kind of cold down in the dungeon here. My man cave slash office. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Got him thinking. Got him thinking. Maybe I win a pawn. Oh, so he'd defend the other square. So he's concerned about knight b5. He wants to play c5, but I guess he's gonna defend in other ways. Okay, so let's jump. We'll jump with this one because that knight's gonna get kicked anyway. And now what? Can we come forward? Let's come forward. Open up that bishop's diagonal. Is it a good idea? I don't know. Should I take this knight at f6? Yeah, I should, right? Yeah, I should take that. I was going to play b3, but I don't know about knight takes e3. Oh, then the other knight can come to f5. Yeah. All right, let's give him a kick in the pants. I think he should have stopped me from coming into f5 in the first place, g6, because I couldn't really do much with that. And then he could try to play a6 and b5. I don't think this is going to, well, I shouldn't say it's not going to work because he's got bishop. But the problem is my other knight coming to f5. Yeah, I think, a problem for him is I always have this queen g4 check. In fact, now I'm threatening to do it with mate, which, might force him to take the knight. Yeah, otherwise mate. I probably could even not take. But I think this is winning for me because queen g4 at some point if he goes d4, queen g4. If he plays queen b6, I defend my knight, or rook a1. And then when he plays d4, my knight's not pinned anymore, so I'll have check and knight moves away. So this is winning a piece for me. Ergo, score another point for Mr. Hat. Ah, okay. Creativity. He's um, stopping the check. So how do I deal with that? Queen f2, I think. Because that kills all the pins. It gets out of one pin. Yeah, there's that, but now it's not a pin. So I just go and take that. And now the rest is technicu. And Jimovich is almost out of time anyway. But yeah, the knight came into f5, and then he, yeah, I think got a little careless with bishop f6. I don't think he really wanted that to happen. The knight went in the wrong direction. He could have just gone back to d7. Yeah, yeah, knight back to d7. He didn't have anything on that square. Yeah, he would have been okay. Best not to let the knight into f5 at all, I think. All right, we're moving along. Get to keep this rolling. And pick up my kids and take them to lunch. They got a half day of school. Getting out early for Thanksgiving. We're gonna go out to the island tomorrow and eat lots of turkey. F8. That is my opponent. I'm not familiar with F8. I know F pawn. Everybody knows F pawn, but F8, I don't know. He's not moving. But I do know that if you have a knight on F8, as Larson would say, you don't get checkmated. Then Fedorovich amended that with if you have a bishop on F8, you don't get checkmated. Because he used to play rook E8, bishop F8 almost every game. Oh, is this me? Am I disconnected? No, I don't. Nothing's happening. No, I guess it was him. Is it you? Is it me? Game aborted by F8. Well, he just wasn't prepared for that particular move, e3. Oh, we've had a few people not ready to meet the bell. Clownfish. That's good. I like that. Good. E3. Now you play E4, I play E5? No, I'm not sorry. I lied. I lied. I'm ornery. I already lost a game today. Okay. All right. Go for queen trade. I'm a merchant. Yep. 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 Okay. F3. So we have queenless middle game. They sometimes call this kind of thing because it's not really an end game because there's a lot of pieces on the board, a lot of tactics, but you can be a little bit freer with pawn play um, because pawn weaknesses aren't punished quite as badly with the queens off the board. All right, it's the kind of stuff I like generally, but maybe Clownfish likes it too. Uh, could try to stop to prevent knight g5, but I'm not sure that it really does anything, so I won't. Okay, well, I was slightly concerned actually he played b4, so kind of happy to prevent that. Bishop e2. Everybody doubles on the d file, yada yada yada. Let's do something different. Trying to play a little bit of the dark squares on the king side now. It's easy to do when your opponent has a light squared bishop. I was kind of doing this a little bit in a different game too. Similar ideas. Knight on c4. Yeah, it's a good knight. So I've got a pretty good knight there too. Everybody says good night. Maybe coax g3 to prevent the knight from coming in. Then maybe f3 is a little weak. Maybe go f5. Not sure at this point. You can try to trade rooks. You know, position would be a little more boring with the rooks off. Should I come in? Well, he stopped f5, didn't he? I don't know, generic h5 move. Maybe g4 is an idea. Yeah, don't really want to trade rooks so much. It doesn't hurt me to trade rooks. It just, position will be a little more interesting with rooks on the board. A little bit. So I have to be a little careful about b4, but all right, I'm covered. Knight isn't really, well, on c5 it's, oh, well, I guess I'll trade it. I wasn't being so happy about it, but so I'll trade it. Yeah, now what? Now what? Where to go? h4. Now let me try knight h4. Why did I play that? I'm not really sure now that I think about it. I can't really play F5 anyway. What did I think I was going to do with that move? I want to play F5, but I don't have that move. All right, so I'll play F6. I don't know what I'm doing next. How can I improve my bishop? I have a technically good bishop, but I can't move it anywhere. All right, so I'll just come back. Still just a touch ahead on the clock. Rook D2. Yeah, well, he's waiting. All right, maybe I'll trade rooks after all, because then I can at least play with the king. So my king's in the game, for what it's worth. Have a little more time. B4. Mm-hmm. All right, just move. Not, not really doing very much here. Not a lot to do. This one does have a very drawish nature. If it comes down to that, it comes down to that. Now, am I giving him king position there? I don't know. I guess he's going to get F4 in, which isn't so brilliant on my part to let that happen. Yep, that was not so brilliant. Okay, what to do? Bishop D5. King and pawn. Let's do it. Let's go for the crazy king and pawn with no time for anybody. See what happens. Okay, here we go. Uh, Liquidation into the pawn ending. I don't know what's going on. It's probably still a draw. I can't be. Can I be worse here? No. Don't play F4. I guess it's a draw. I'll make some random sort of triangulation moves. King D5. What happens? Can I play F4? I'll just offer a draw. Yeah. There's no time to calculate that. King F4. It comes down to some races. Maybe I'm faster in the race. I could play F4, but I think it'd be a draw anyway. Okay. All right. Good game, Clownfish. Now it's Taka no Hana. Clownfish has had some games. He was very unlucky to lose. And that time he gets a draw. Where are you? Takanohana. Takanohana? Not ready to answer the bell. All right. Somebody will take your place. Liebman's pawn. Are you here for real now? Yeah, okay. I guess life does sometimes give second chances. So we'll go for more sort of standard Jobava. What happens if I push d4 in this situation? Maybe I will push d5. God, I'm thinking. God, I'm thinking. Maybe I win a pawn. Bishop c5 doesn't seem like such a natural development anyway, because there's a pawn on e3, so it's not going anywhere. All right, queen e7. Well, everything's defended, I'm pretty sure. There's no tricks, bishop d4, queen b4. No, I can play c3, I can play bishop c3. So bishop's going to have to move away. Check. Where to put it? To kick the bishop. Block my bishop. For now. Knight c3 is interesting. Knight d2. Many choices. c3. Just pick up that tempo. Castle quickly. Also, yeah, knight c3 was pretty good too. I have a plan. Things are coming together nicely. And that's my sneaky idea. That was my plan when I played c3. I was thinking that if black tried to gain some control in the center with d5, that would happen. I could have played bishop a3 and move earlier to prevent black from castling, but I decided to, to go for the sneaky material trap of a winning material. Okay. So now we have a technicurious position. Extra exchange. Really no compensats. The bishop on b6 is out of play as well. Make some trades. Use my rooks. Open things up. Yada, yada, yada. King g8, okay. Not taking that pawn, that's for sure. I'm not so sure I want to play knight e5 because then his bishop can come back. So maybe just go in double rooks. When you have one more, you can feel confident you're going to have the e-file. Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust the thermostat in here. Good thing I got long sleeves on. Bishop h5. So I don't know, knight g4 maybe is a threat, but h3, it's a good move to get in there, not only covering the square, but you make luft, there's no accidental mates. It's a sensible move, especially in blitz. You just keep things rolling, put your opponent on move, and things are looking pretty good. All right, let's kick that knight because now I get access to the e7 square. And Liebman's pawn resigned. Okay, well, he's losing and he's got no time. Thanks for the game. At least you got your second chance. Well, I'm getting some new faces. Oh, Hannes. Oh, Hanesian. I don't believe I played him before. He's coming at me. Finally, somebody takes debate. So let's get something a little different. Relatively easy to make moves for black here. Just good in blitz. Though not that hard to make moves for white. Mm-hmm. They'll sneak in b5. Whoa, g4. I don't think that's threatening anything. Can I take this pawn on g4? I think I can, actually. But all right, if b5 is a good threat. Maybe it was maybe knight g4 was it's more direct refutation, right? Because bishop on f4 hangs, bishop on c4 hangs. Would there be any? Not sure there'd be any blowback there. Yeah, probably could have just taken on g4. But even b5 is annoying threat. g5 knight h5. I don't see that helping. Things hanging. Okay, defended his bishop. This is coming. This is coming. So I'm thinking I'm winning something here. I'd be disappointed if I weren't winning something. Knight takes d5. Well, I think I can do that. I won a pawn and I got him thinking. For those of you who remember the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer, and that line got him thinking maybe I can win a pawn. I actually saw that being filmed. I was in Toronto. I was in that movie, of course. I was in Toronto while they were filming that scene, so it made a real impression on me. I think I can take with the bishop now, because now my knight on d5 is protected, and I'm hitting this pawn on b2, so I could have taken with the knight too. counterattack the knight on f3, but I think this could be even stronger. And now I can go for more greed, yeah? Is c4 a move? No, bishop c3. Well, it's possible. Or I could take en passant even, because knight on d5 is defended. Bishop c4. Okay, knight goes somewhere. Uh, time for more greed. Is greed good? Greed is good. Right. I was ready for that move. I thought. d5. Should be holding together. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that that's a big threat, but I think just the same, I'm going to defend it. Or should I play knight e2? No. Just defend that mate. Oh, now I'm a little bit lower in time. It happens when I do all this talking. Queen c6. Maybe you can do something like that. Oh, also the bishop is in trouble. Yeah, the bishop is in trouble, isn't it? That's maybe the simplest thing to do. Just attack that guy. He's trapped. He's trapped. Yep, it's winning some material. Yeah, just take that. I've got 92 coming, and then my bishop comes to life. There's also d4 in the position. Oh, I said I had 92 coming. That's going to sting a little. It's going to leave a mark. Okay. Oh, Hanesian. Thank you. That was interesting. Never can tell which direction these games will go in. They always a little something different. Okay, I guess we must be getting close to the end. Probably not too many more. I lose track of how many games I've played after a while. I guess I could be like making marks so I can see. But Sandro will always tell me when I'm about to be done. Okay. Who's next? Legbreaker. Okay. C5. Okay, I'll go. Yusupov system. I saw somebody pretty good do this recently. I think this is what Magnus did in the last game, isn't it? He did a very early d take c5 before b6, which is interesting. I don't think really that was Yusupov's idea. He played a lot of games with this. Knight e4. Yeah, maybe now c4 because black can't really take on c4 with a knight on e4. That's my that's my theory. I don't know if it's good theory or not. So now it seems like maybe black is all in on this knight e4. Maybe he's going to support it with f5 because what else? Otherwise, as I said, otherwise I'm going to take it. But I still think I can take it. I mean, is black getting enough compensation here? Excuse me. Pawn is pawn. So queen defends f3, defends b3. Okay. I don't know if 95 is a good move or not. Sometimes you just play a move because it's your move and you have to do something. So just, excuse me, trying to overprotect lots of things. Because it's less fun playing without that light squared bishop. Things we do for pawns. The things we do for pawns. Walking in the rain. I guess I still have maybe some ideas of trying to attack on the king side with queen g3 and stuff on the diagonal. Again, sort of generic, putting things in the middle, overprotecting everything. Let my opponent get an idea and respond to it. It's blitz chess. If the bishop comes to f6, then maybe knight g4. Yeah, see, that's why you protect things a lot. All right, so I'm looking at d5. Is this open for business? But you see, that's my flaw. Now I start calculating things, and that's where it can all go horribly wrong. But otherwise what to do, because I can't move my knight so easily. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just wait, I guess. He waits too. Smart. Yeah, I have a feeling that was a position I should have played d5, but or maybe I played knight g4 too early. Yeah, what do I do all these pieces? I got to put them somewhere. I feel I should put my knight back on e5. And I may end up doing that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Did not see that. D4 is defended at least. Oh, interesting. He's trying to. I don't know if that's such a good idea, but oh, it's definitely not a good idea. Somebody's getting tired here. This is. I guess I'm playing a lot of tired moves now, losing the thread. But okay. Actually, the knight on b3 maybe it'll be stuck. One could hope, right? And let's just play some moves. It's not been genius on my part, for sure. Just doing a lot of building for what? I do not know. Okay, now let's make a threat. That's a threat. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, isn't something hanging here? Phew. Yeah, I fooled around and fell in love there. Really, kind of lost the threat. But sometimes you take a pawn like that, you give a piece you really like. It's not so easy. But I think I had to go straight forward d5. All that maneuvering, I felt like it was kind of outplayed there. So good game, leg breaker. Chess freak, you're up. All right, everybody, this is the grand finale. I've already been nicked for a loss and a draw. I'll try not to be too sad. Such is life. Okay, well, I had this earlier today. The opponent played e4, perhaps a little optimistically. Now, we'll get something a little different. I once had almost the same thing against Dolmatov. It was white. And I probably really underestimated his opening a little bit. I lost the game, too, in Moscow. This is when I thought that the Dutch was an unplayable opening because only low-rated players played against me, and then I started playing games against Russian grandmasters, and it was a little different. Just freak with knight d2, so I guess he's concerned about knight coming to e4 at some moment, although my knight is still pinned. Oh no, really? What did I do to you, chess freak? h4? Does that mean that if I go h6, it's going to leave it there? No, that can't be it. Oh, he doesn't want me to play g5. Well, I wasn't going to do that anyway. Knight h5, and if bishop h2, queen h4, I don't know. Just don't want to do that, really, I think. Maybe. I don't know. No. Let's see where it goes. I guess I could take that pawn. Come to think of it, I don't see why not. Yeah, well, he's trying to avoid it, but it's gonna have to. Should I play knight c6 or d6? Kind of feel like I want to just get that bishop off the board. more than I even want to take the pawn. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Okay, I gotta pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, get back. All right, can take. No place else to go. He might be doing queenside castling because I don't know if he's gonna have time to get to the king side. I'm gonna try to blast him if he does. And if he goes to queenside, try to blast him over there. Okay, let's blast. Right, but I get this in here. That should cause some discomfort. Ah, I think I can win a pawn here. Well, I can take a pawn at h4, which I should probably do. But I think maybe I'm going to get fancy here. Just because I can. Play that one for the fans. Yeah. Check. And should I trade first? Yeah, just take. All right, so I won a pawn for what it's worth. I don't know if it was worth it, honestly. Probably wasn't that great a pawn to take. I guess I got to do a little defending. Maybe I should have traded a pair of rooks too. Hindsight is 2020. Alright, let me just get rid of that knight. I could play g6, can't I? Yeah, why don't I? Is he going to take it? No. Because I could have played rook e7 too. Oh, actually, I didn't need to take that. I didn't need to take that. All right. Because I could have gone king h7. Well, the knight could retreat anyway. I wasn't going to win that knight. But something is happening here, no? Um, oh, he's almost made it. But, now I have 20. How do I have 20 seconds? What happened there? What the heck happened there? I have 20 seconds? Was I that slow? Oh, man. I hate playing with 20 seconds. Oh, but I mated him, right? I mean, a6, I was threatening to mate. Well, then now I don't need 2 seconds. Well, that's a nice way to finish with a checkmate, right? I mean, I didn't play a6 for nothing. King a4, bishop d7. That's the end of that. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that was a weird game. I mean, I just looked up and I got 20 seconds. What's going on? I guess I was, it's like I get to talk and sometimes I fall asleep a little bit. What do you know? Okay, well, that was fun, as it always is, even when I don't make a perfect score. But I try to make the games interesting, and I'm glad I don't play much blitz chess. I'm glad to have an opportunity to play a little bit, get the juices flowing, and to give everybody a shot at taking down the grandmaster. And so this is our little get together for the month of November. And I thank everybody for participating. Those who got to play, those who didn't get to play, sorry. December will be another month. And enjoy the rest of the World Championship match that we are covering live commentary on ICC. That should be entertaining. Got that coming up soon. Maybe go take a nap and get ready for what's coming up in 2 hours. And so, anyway, again, everybody, thanks for playing. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. It's been a pleasure. This has been ICC's Banter Blitz.